Hey you. Yeah, you. Have you ever heard of Grand Theft Auto 4? It's a pretty unknown game, developed by a small company, and it has the saddest looking colour palette of any game that I've ever played. What's up you cretins? It's Cobb, and welcome to GTA 4. Funny haha murder and hit and run game. Let's get into it. Like any good game, we start off by hearing a guy saying "Daddy's back" and being whipped. It's been 4 seconds and the game is already mocking my fetishes. We get off the boat and end up in Roman, our cousin's car, to get some driving experience. Now, as any true Aussie would, I immediately start trying to skid the dog. I do some donuts in an intersection and get on the brake in front of a cop. If this was my homeland, we would have been shot and game ended on the spot. Hooning is a terrible crime and needs to be charged with an immediate firing squad. We get into Roman's apartment, and it isn't all that Roman promised, looking like every degenerate who's watching this video's bedroom. We get a little backstory of Roman and Nico, and Roman is really interested in what Nico has to say.
Maybe that is no excuse. Roman? Roman! Are you sleeping, you fat? No. Come on!
Roman tells us he runs a taxi company and has to head off to do some work. So I head outside and immediately start my criminal career. Insurance fraud is the way to go. The cops completely ignore me, so I push their window and immediately they draw guns. They ignore my skids and them nearly killing a man, but pushing on their window is where they draw the line. I grab one's gun and then I'm shot about 80 times. I wake up out the front of the hospital, and now I need a car to head to Roman. So I steal one, of course. I've been in this country for less than a day, and I've done more criminal activity than most would in their lifetimes. I get to Roman after violating every traffic law in existence, and meet his girlfriend, Mallory, and more importantly, Vlad, Roman's Russian boss, who wants to fuck Mallory. We head off to take Roman to an underground casino, and he tells us to call him if we see a beige car, because he owes them money. I blind this guy with my high beams, and then the loan sharks pull up. I call Roman, and we have a chase on our hands. They are either no match for Nico's driving abilities, or they actually just don't care about their money, because we lose them in about 5 seconds. I drop Roman off and head to look for a better car, and find one when I get a message from Roman that he needs help ASAP. So we head there, and he definitely needed our help. He's been attacked by the loan sharks. Our fat man-baby cousin couldn't fend off a 6-year-old, so we break one of their arms and they dip. Roman gets a call from Mallory saying she needs a lift. Roman's busy getting 0 bitches, so we head off for him. I get there and subtly let them know that I've arrived. These women are obviously very used to being around some absolute amazing drivers, as I crash the car multiple times and one of them still gives me their number. But for some reason, she doesn't like my clothes. So I drop them off, do a barrel roll, and get to the clothes store. Nico's looking drippy now. We call Michelle and ask her to go out, and like the socially awkward autistic man that I am, I'm at her house before the call finishes. Then Roman calls again for the 827th time today, saying he needs help. I'm not getting cock-blocked by you, Roman. I've got some bitches to acquire. I pick her up, and she makes the terrible decision of letting me drive. I immediately pancake someone at 65 kilometers an hour, and she says nothing. I don't know what she sees in me. Maybe she saw the outline of my 4.5 incher in my pants when I picked her up, and she just couldn't resist the thought of me after that. We arrive at the carnival, and it's closed, so I run full sprint towards the bowling alley. Mallory still doesn't think I'm weird, so I definitely think we're going to get married. I stand in the middle of someone's lane, and she does too. It's love at first sight. Then I absolutely destroy her in bowling. If we want our kids to be criminal masterminds, then you are going to have to be able to hit at least 2 strikes in a row, Mallory. We take her home, with her car barely driving, and she wants to see us again. It's no surprise, when you're packing heat like Nico is, the ladies flock to you. Straight after we get a call from Roman, big surprise, and he's in the hospital. He has a go at us for choosing women over his own blood, but I wouldn't have to choose if you weren't such a fat cunt and knew how to fight back. I pick him up and reluctantly apologise, because who wants to look after their family when the succulent feeling of a woman's touch is at stake? I literally just dropped Roman off, and we're immediately called by him again. He's been attacked by the same loan sharks again. I didn't even see him leave. For such a big fellow, he really knows how to be silent on his feet. Roman really needs to learn how to just not scam people, and he wouldn't be in the same situation multiple times a day. I get there, and he's getting the shit kicked out of him. They look at me, and one of them wants to fight, but I have a strap, so he's dead. Never threaten someone with a gun when your only way of fighting back is the soft meaty paws that we call fists. The other one doesn't run and tries to fight too, so I kick him in the shins so hard that he drops like a sack of shit. What a pussy. Then we spot Darden, the loan shark's boss. And he's obviously seen my gun because he runs away. But he's not getting away that easily. We chase him through the streets and finally to a warehouse where he gets out and we follow on foot. This is where Nico is beyond vulnerable. Anything could be around the corner. Darden could have any weapon and Nico could be walking into a death trap. He just has a knife. He gets a nice taste of Nico's balls in the afterlife, and we head back to the depot to drop Roman off. I see another quest for Roman, so I head back inside, and apparently not even 3 seconds later, Roman's disappeared again. That sneaky little cunt. And Vlad is hitting on his missus. Vlad says this, and it really reminds me of myself.
Excellent. Now stop fucking staring at me. I mean, I know I'm good looking and everything, but come on.
It's amazing how a 50-something-year-old overweight Russian mob boss and a 21-year-old Australian man have so much in common. Vlad slaps Roman about, and then he gets a call from a frequent customer, and Roman wants us to do it. Fuck me, I'm tired of doing all of Roman's dirty work. I don't get paid enough for this shit. I'm sick of this piece of shit too. Why can't I have a Ferrari, or just anything that's faster than a fucking push bike? I pick up Jermaine and roll the car while he's talking.
You're Nico, right? The hotshot ladies man cruising around the Mediterranean, breaking hearts and making millions?
And he just keeps going like nothing's happened. The cunts in Liberty City are just built different, I guess. We get to his pickup and the police have found it, and we get ambushed. Another chase is underway. Luckily for Jermaine, Nico is simultaneously the best and worst driver in Liberty City. I juke the cops in this alleyway and escape. I drop him off and he says this.
Keep looking after Roman, alright?
He doesn't know the extent of how much I look after him. I basically do all of his dirty work, game end people, feed him, and wipe his ass. All of this built-up anger makes me want to harass someone. So I call one of the 2 people on my contacts list and ask for a date. She says,
So, we only just went out. Maybe later?
so I call her again, and she says,
I think you're a great guy, but I don't want to hang out again so soon. Another time?
Okay.
no bitches for Nico today. I head back to Roman, and of course, he has another job for me. We have to pick up a dude by the name of Little Jacob, my favourite character. I can't understand a word he's saying, and that's what I like about him. I let him know I'm here by slamming into the wall next to him at full speed.
Huh?
He needs to go to a spot and we need to cover him. I get upstairs and point at Little Jacob and he gets frightened. Sorry Jacob, I didn't mean to scare you. Some fellas with fedoras come in and start shooting at Jacob. No one hurts you, Jacob. They've said their last milady, tipped their last fedora, and made their last Reddit post, because they are now all in the ground. One more pops out, so I watch him slip and fall. Whoever dropped their banana up there must have really had it out for you. Jacob thanks me, I think, and we head back to his place. It's only 2 streets away, but Nico crashes into almost everything he can on the way there. All this violence has made me want to go on a date, so I call Michelle, and she rejects me again. Fucking bitch. Then we get a call from Vlad. He calls me a dumb peasant and tells me that we have to see him. On the way there, I slam into this guy, and he ejects from the vehicle, only to get back up and then throw his own dead missus out of the car. I want whatever drugs they've got in Liberty City. We get to Vlad, and he tells us that he's owed protection money from a local shop and that he wants us to get it. Fuck me, it's just like Dying Light. So we head off. We get there, and this guy acts all hard, but I know that he's just as soft as a marshmallow. So I find a rock and accidentally yeet it at this guy's head. Sorry, random man. Then I yeet it through his front window. I told you old mate was a soft cunt. He gives us all the money and tells me to choke on it. So we head back for Vlad. He calls the owner the biggest crook in the neighbourhood, but I honestly think we are. I've been here for 2 days, and I've killed like 10 people.